My name's Aaron Lucan. These are my top 4 Division 7A nightmares. This is a steep hill, and this is the ride to work. And coming in at number 4 on my list of Division 7A nightmares is where a shareholder does not have the capacity or the intent to repay the loan. And this is because it has been treated like income in the hands of that director/shareholder and spent on the necessities of life and the frivolities of life for that matter. Their accountant has created the loan account and they don't really understand what it is and why it exists. It certainly doesn't exist as a liability in their mind as a shareholder of something that needs to be repaid to the company, and they haven't factored it into their personal financial affairs and planning. So it comes as a shock to them then when they're required to repay that loan to a liquidator. Coming in at third on my list is that the balance sheet is garbage. I often see balance sheets which at first glance have a strong debt to asset ratio and a large retained earnings balance. But that's all BS, and the real financial situation can be quickly calculated by removing the loan account from the balance sheet and reducing retained earnings by the same value. This gives a far more accurate indication of the company's financial position. And if you then account for the tax liability arising for the shareholder as a result of payment of that dividend, it can also help create a realistic idea of the actual financial position of the company. At second place on my list is that Division 7A loans destroy asset protection structures. So a key reason for trading a business through a company structure is asset protection. We're trying to insulate the affairs of the directors and shareholders from their business risk. Shareholders owing money to a company directly exposes their personal assets to that risk, particularly in circumstances where a liquidator gets appointed and has to recover that loan. However, if the directors and shareholders had received those funds as, say, salary for the work they do or as dividends fully franked, instead of as a loan, the asset protection structure is then preserved. And then coming in at the number 1 spot on my list is simply that they get away with it. So over my career as a liquidator, I've written off or compromised dozens and maybe hundreds of uncollectible Division 7A loan accounts. And I can't give you one example of a situation where a shareholder was then assessed for the deemed dividend that resulted under Division 7A. Directors and shareholders are effectively getting the benefit of income and not paying tax. It's not uncommon that the directors and shareholders have drawn these funds, at least in part, from PAYG withholdings, from GST that they've collected, and even from staff superannuation that the company has failed to remit. So let me know what you think. Drop me a comment and I will reply. I'm going to go do another lap. But as always, I hope your day started as well as mine. And thanks for joining me today on the ride to work.